and we're going to have Dan and Linda role play out a listing phone call from beginning to end, right?
Yeah, the pre-qualifying listing presentation.
Need to get an appointment and get in front of her.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
If y'all are ready, go ahead.
Let's do it.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Linda, how are you doing today?
Hi, who's calling, please?
Oh, this is Danielle Motivar with LPT Realty. We spoke earlier, and I was calling to confirm our appointment for later today.
Oh, confirm our appointment? Oh, I don't remember about an appointment.
Okay. Well, we had a meeting for 5 p.m. today. Was that still going to work for you?
Okay, sure.
Okay. Well, before I come out, there are a number of questions that I wanted to ask you. Is that okay?
Okay, sure.
Okay. If what I say makes sense and you feel comfortable and confident that I can sell your home, are you planning to list your home with me when I come out there today?
Well, I do still have a few other people that I'm, interviewing, but I'll listen to what you have to say.
Okay. Well, that's all I ask. You give me a fair shake. So where are you going to move to?
Back to Philadelphia.
Okay. So back to Philly. Make notes here as we go. And how soon do you have to be there?
I have some flexibility, but probably within the next 3 to 6 months.
3 to 6 months. Okay. And when I see you, how much do you want to list your home for?
Oh, around 650.
Around 650. Okay. Now, as a professional real estate agent, I study home prices every day. Therefore, I assume you'll want to list with me at a price that will cause your home to sell. Is that right?
Of course, I want to sell it. Ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. You need that money, right? So what price are you not willing to go below? What's your bottom line?
I would say we need to be 630.
630.
That's the lowest I think I could ever consider. I have a mortgage and stuff.
Okay, so that brings me to my next question. How much do you own the property, if you don't mind me asking?
About 150,000.
Okay, so that's a lot of equity there that we need to protect. Okay, and that's what we're here to do. So, have you ever thought about selling your house on your own?
I thought about it, but I'm not sure about a lot of things. I'm a little scared of dealing with the contracts and things like that.
Yeah, it can be a little confusing and sometimes, and I'm here to go ahead and walk you through that process. So we'll go ahead and talk about the fine details when I get over there today. Now, with that 150,000 that you had that you owed on it, that leaves a lot of equity there on the table. Did you want to finance for the buyer at all, or did you want to try to pull that cash out?
No. I need the money in my hand.
Take the money and run to Philly, right? Yeah. And so, in about 30 seconds or less, or a minute or less, how would you describe your home to me?
Well, I live in a condo building and it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. We have a lovely view of the ocean, and I call it the city view and the ocean view. And it's a nice building. We have a parking space downstairs. We've done some updates over the years, tiling and a new kitchen and things like that. So that's why it's, I want a decent price for it.
Okay, great. And I'll be sending you a package of information over. Will you take a few minutes to look at it before I get there?
How are you sending it?
I'm going to be sending it via email.
You're going to stop by earlier?
No. When we talked earlier, you gave me your phone and email. I do want to confirm I have Linda Hotuka at gmail.com. Is that the right email?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, you can send it by email.
Okay, thank you for confirming that. I appreciate that. So I'll go ahead and send that to you by email. If you could just take a look at it before I get there. And did you have any final questions before I arrive?
Not at this time. Maybe I just don't know, how much is your commission?
Okay, commission's definitely something that we can talk about. I'll go ahead and make that, the number one priority when we get there. And it's only going to take between 5 to 25 minutes for the meeting. Is that going to be okay?
Yes.
Okay, so I look forward to seeing you today at 5 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you then.
I think you did very well. I really do, Daniel.
Thank
You thought of everything. I thought we were going to do from the beginning of you qualifying me, though. I'm sorry, because I thought we were going to do before. This was like the confirmation of the appointment.
Yeah,
Maybe we can also, because I was going to give you a harder time.
Oh, I know. I went online. I got the pre-qualifying, the listing presentation. I got that script. So I don't know if I went to the. It wasn't. I don't know if there's a link that was sent out, but I didn't go to that link. I just Googled it and found it. So maybe I went to the wrong place. But
No, because last week when he was doing the calls, he did go to this script. But I think that when we're role playing, I think it's better in some respects to get more comfortable and confident with from the beginning when you're actually doing a total cold call. Do you agree, Tanya?
I totally agree. That's one of the things I was going to say is, we missed kind of that relationship building first call.
Okay.
So some of the things when you were going into, how much do you owe on your mortgage? I mean, it was, for us, it was a little abrupt for the first, you know what I mean? Like, okay, but you had already kind of had that initial call. So I was kind of hoping to see that too, but that's okay. That's why we record this and do it every week.
I can
I
do
do
that.
like the
But
question.
otherwise, everything perfect. And David Kurz also wrote, that was a great call. It was, because you did get through it. You didn't waver or get too nervous or excited. You kept your pacing and you kept on going on with what you wanted to speak about, which is very positive. So I think you're definitely got, you're obviously you're somewhat experienced, this isn't your first rodeo. But that's the only thing. I thought I was being prepared to give you a harder time because sometimes we say, is your husband going to be there? Is this and that and blah, 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 and make sure, so I was going to give you, well, he doesn't necessarily, do this and he does, well, maybe he won't be here and, like that. So I was preparing for other inquiries.
I like that question. Like Tanya said, it was kind of abrupt to ask it like that. I do see those scripts and everything. And sometimes I like to rephrase the question. I do ask when I'm going to the listing appointment, hey, do me a favor, have your mortgage statement available for our meeting so we can go over, your equity position and whatnot. And so that's really the only thing I would change.
Okay.
Also, I think as Christian, as Daniel did it in the second thing, like Tanya said, it would have been addressed in the first conversation as, hey, you owe anything on the mortgage? It would have been like more like, are you free and clear? Or, you could phrase it many different ways in the first thing, and then say, I remember you said you had a bit, of balance left. Can you share with me, and that kind of thing, tiptoeing around it a little bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. I did like also Daniel's deflection of the commission question, because that really all depends on you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. These are the services I provide, and for this service I provide, I charge a 7% commission. Now, if you want to have a discussion about blah, 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 and reducing, and yak, we could talk about the services that I won't provide, and we can give you a discount on those things. What do you mean you're not going to do this?
I think sometimes I agree. You really can't discuss the commission in this call, in either calls. You can state it and then you can review it with them. I was always told when we did these kind of things to either deflect or we'll be discussing that as soon as we come in. Boston Dave did that last week. And I was saying, wow, the first thing you're going to talk about is commission. But of course you're not, you're going to go into your presentation more or less when you're with the sellers.
I thought he was going to be here to post. I'm trying to find what he sent me. So what he did send me, I'm going to post in the chat.
Okay.
I think this is more for the box with what he's added. But I don't have all his listing presentations. Do you have them, Christian? You don't have them, do you, Christian?
Which presentations?
The one that David, the one that he just did.
Last week?
Talking about the scripts?
Yeah, the
all
script, sorry.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't save them. No, I didn't record it.
Well,
Right.
I went online. It looks like with Mike Ferry scripts.
Mike Ferry, that's who it is. That's
Yeah,
when he-
you have to sign up. And I actually went, it also redirected me. I was looking at it last night. Tom Ferry has some more updated ones, like, because obviously he wants to differentiate a bit from the original scripts. And he also has some new ones that I thought we also should look into about how to call, when we get to that point, how to call our sphere and be in touch with them. Because it's a little bit like, let me share with you what's going on in the market, or what do you think about that? And David says he's more of a Tom fan. He says things in a way that are a little bit more conversationally, like you were saying, Christian, like how you might phrase it a bit different, and kind of try to make it more of a conversation than, like, sometimes these scripts feel like you're being talked at instead of conversational and let it flow.
Well, they get better in your presentation as you practice them and you make them your own. Those scripts are basically a skeleton for you to go in there and put the meat on later. I use them. It's been a while. Look, I've been managing for about 5 years. So I'm a little rusty when it comes to grabbing a listing appointment and going in there and talking. But those scripts haven't changed from, when I was a newbie 10 years ago. They're exactly the same. Mike Ferry's been around. Is it Mike who's the dad and Tom's the son? And they've split their business because they had differences, but whatever. But yeah, Mike Ferry's been around for 100 or so years, and his scripts haven't changed. Even if you went ahead and signed up for his program, you can find his scripts online for free. So I like using the scripts as a, when you're new and rusty and you haven't done this situation, but over time, and as you practice them and do more role playing, you like I said, you put more meat on those skeleton bones, and it becomes your own presentation later. It becomes your own regurgitation of the same, discussion you have over and over again as you go through your career.
Also, can you tell us, Dan, you said you were going to email her a packet. What are the things that the script tells you, or what were you putting in a packet?
I didn't have that. All I I was just kind of, winging it. I just had the one. It was the same like the prequel, and it was only like 12 questions. So I'll do the cold calling one. That's probably going to be the biggest, impact that I'll have. This is just follow up. It's easy. You talk to somebody already. The other one would probably be more impactful.
One of the things that I'm going to do this week is I'm going to make a lot of FSBO calls from Zillow for sell by owners. And I've got one guy that is considering listing with me. So I'm trying to get in front of him. So yeah, the cold calling one would be great.
Well, they also
really
have a FSBO. They have a FSBO script. So check that one out. It's very similar, but then it twists around, because remember how he says, we ever thinking about selling on your own? And they go into a couple of questions about that. Similar to, like, are you familiar with the contracts? Are you familiar with this? Do you have like negotiation skills or something where you're kind of like cornering them a little bit, and making them remember, hey, this is something that you need a little bit more professionalism, or sometimes, oh, you're very emotional about your house. It kind of touches on those things. The other thing I was going to say is packet. So my team is working on a packet, but when I was in another company and we worked primarily on a listing team and all this, we had a couple of different things that we would put into a packet. One was an overall introduction type of letter that kind of introduced them to us and our team, and perhaps also threw in things that properties that were sold in the area. Also, we had a editable cost sheet So it would go into approximate, well, you mentioned that you have X amount of dollars, so it would give them like a net sheet. And that a lot of times is also found through your closing agents, title companies, things like that.
Yeah, I have one that I use for, that I've used in the past too. And that's a good segue, Dan, when you're going into, instead of saying, you know, do you know what you owe on your mortgage? You could say,
Sure.
one of the things I'm going to come with is a net sheet. So go ahead and call your mortgage company, get your payoff, the full payoff amount as of today. And we're going to do a net sheet together and we'll go through the numbers there.
Okay.
You can also prepare it with, you know, like the prorated taxes or any transfers, taxes, if there's anything in your particular city, things like that. And the last part is giving them a basic rundown. So certain things can be definitely prepared in advance of all the things that you do for marketing. And hey, we have such a fantastic LPT, you know, so heading up that with our amazing box, professional photos, how many websites in general, because when it's on the MLS and so on, your Facebook, your Instagram, or if you're on a team, of how you're going to, you know, deal with it, and also explain how you're going to use the marketing box. That's something that you can say in a sentence on the packet, but when you're there, 100%, you got to bring it and explain each item. And hey, here's the flyers, and here's the items that we're going to be, you know, distributing in your neighborhood, and this is going to go to, you know, the thank you cards, and that makes a difference.
Sure.
And Dave just put in the Dropbox some really good stuff that you guys might want to pull up and save it. And so did Courtney. Thank you, Courtney.
Hey, real quick, Tanya, you asked the questions. What kind of stuff do you send in a packet to a seller? Well, your active marketing plan and questions, you know, you put those in your packet. The other thing that I like to do, and I've told Tanya this, I like to take my handy dandy little business cards and go to Walmart and get a packet of magnets, business card magnets, and always put two of those in there. People don't throw away magnets that they get in the mail. They end up on the refrigerator somewhere. They'll all.
Oh, you're on mute.
I know, he's just talking away too and not even looking.
Yeah.
Babe.
Did I miss the whole thing? I was talking the whole time.
Yeah.
No,
Just
no,
up the
no.
magnet after
We
you drop
missed
the
you on
magnet.
magnet on the refrigerator.
Magnets. Okay. Go to Walmart. This packet of 50 magnets that's peel and stick on your business cards is only $7.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm at Walmart. And I like to have these when I go to somebody's home. It's like, oh, hey, you know, my card's not on your refrigerator, and I just slap one on there anyway. But that's the kind of stuff that I included in those packets that I would send out to buyers and sellers. Obviously, I didn't have stuff like this before, but now that I do, I can.
Well, that's why I was asking if he's going to drop something off. I was told a lot of times to do something like drop it off or FedEx, you know, if you have a few days, because you can then put more of these like magazine type things, or even a couple of samples maybe of the flyers and just different things that might be sparking their interest. If you're just doing email, of course, you can't really do that, but you can bullet point it and explain kind of what your marketing packet is.
Awesome stuff. I just put in here a buyer's guide too that I had customized. If you guys want to, you know, take the idea, this is always good to get in front of buyers, and then get the buyer broker if they're not ready to look at homes right now. That's what I do. Let me make sure I did the right one. Yep, that's the LPT one. Yep. So, all right, well, that's good stuff. Does anybody have anything else they wanted to go over? Anything crazy happened this week while you were on the phones? It's like crickets. Dan, do you have a source of leads that you're using to get, or did I say that right?
Yeah, no, I don't. I just kind of finally just got everything switched over to LPT. And I'm kind of restarting everything here in Florida, as moving to Virginia. So, moving from Virginia. So I'm gonna get with Dave this coming weekend and you have a plan together, like where am I gonna be calling, what source am I gonna be using, what dialer, everything. I'm not trying to do anything new, like whatever he's doing, I'm just gonna jump in his pocket and do the same thing. 2023 is just all about making money in a proven method. And let's just freaking do it, man. I don't even want to. I've been in real estate for 8 years, but I'm not trying to do anything new and different. Like people know how to do it, and I just want to learn what is being done right now. So that's
it. That's awesome. Dave said, "Let's go." David's probably in the gym, listening to us.
Yeah. I'm excited. Like it seems like everybody has a lot of good things going on, and actionable things to do to really start making money, and I'm excited about it. So
so I came into the business right when Corona hit. So everything was virtual, on the phone, Zillow leads coming in. So that's how I mastered getting excuse me like buyer brokers and things like that before I even had an appointment. But Christian's helping me kind of go back to old school, calling on FSBOs. Do you guys have Remind? Do they have Remind, honey? Or is that just an MLS thing? They have Remind. That's a really good source too.
Remind's a national, it's
Okay.
You can get Remind depending on where you are. Usually it's provided through your MLS. Some people pay for it out of pocket because their MLS doesn't provide it. I don't know what's in Florida, but I can tell you that most of the bigger MLSs in Virginia do have Remind. And there are folks out there posting videos on YouTube about how you can get listing leads for free using Remind. It takes some work, but nothing here is easy. If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. And if it was easy, everybody'd be making the money.
Yeah.
So
What exactly do you do with Remind that is helping you to, or the goal of getting listings?
So I don't know much about Remind as far as using it for listing leads. I just know that there's a lot of information for it. I've actually given the stage over to the folks presenting it. So I've been through a few Remind presentations. But what Remind does is it kind of it scours your local data, all right, for folks that have been in their home X number of years, folks that have, so much equity, the different market analysis for different neighborhoods and things like that. So you can kind of see, instead of like blanket marketing, sending out 1,800 doggone, what do you call them? Seller.
Just like kind of cold,
something like that.
sending out postcards. You can
tailor it down. You don't want to, like in 1,800 home neighborhood, let's say 400 of those sold in the last 2 years. Most people aren't going to sell within 2 years. So save those 400 postcards to another neighborhood, and you can kind of use Remind to tailor who you're going to send stuff to. So it's more of a zero down approach than just a shotgun blast and wasting a lot of dollars that way.
Right.
So Remind does help with that. But like I said, it takes time, and you got to pick your neighborhoods because it drills it down so intricate that if I want to do this whole zip code, don't do that. Pick your neighborhood, pick the ones that you've done some sales in, and make sure that you start off with some more laser focused targeting rather than shotgun blasting. And so many agents go broke just sending out mailers and all kinds of stuff that doesn't really provide any fruit later on in the end. So Remind's pretty good for that.
Another thing too is when I took the video, or I watched the class with our MLS, and I'm going to do it again, but you can send it right there to your cart. Like the group, say you have 100 people in this neighborhood, you can send it to a cart and create the postcards right then. It just goes right out.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool. So say you have a buyer, right? It's a valid buyer, $500,000, only wants this certain condo facing the water in Virginia Beach. You know what I mean? But there's nothing coming on the market. You could blast a whole thing to that condo mailer.
Nice.
All right, well, if nobody's got anything, let's go on and start our Monday. Good stuff today, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Next week, let's do a buyer. Again, let's go back to doing a buyer's call. So
Okay.
anything y'all think of that you want to do, we'll do it on Monday. But everyone have a great week. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow on Rosie's call at 11:30.
All right. See you guys.
All right, happy Monday.
Bye.